We are 48 schools across 14 cities, but together we are one Shawnee mission, and this is our time to shine.
Welcome to episode 7 of Shawnee Mission Mic'd Up. My name is Dr. Michelle Hubbard, and I'm the host and happy to be here with you.
And I'm your co-host, Dr. Jeremy Higgins, and we're excited that everyone is listening in today. Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. I'm hoping we have some new listeners out there. If you guys know someone that hasn't listened to Shawnee Mission Mic'd Up, invite them to join you. We're always looking for new listeners to join us.
Absolutely. Dr. Hubbard, before we jump into recapping our last episode and moving into this episode, I'm going to go off script a little bit. Sorry, I probably shouldn't do that with the boss here, but I feel like I need to make sure that our listeners all know that something pretty big and important happened here recently, and that was you were named Superintendent of the Year for the state of Kansas. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, thank you, Dr. Higgins, but yes, way off script. And I've said this a couple times, but I really see this as, first of all, thank you. And I really see this as an honor for the Shawnee Mission School District and all of the amazing people that do the work every single day for our kids. And so while I was named the Kansas Superintendent of the Year, this really is the Shawnee Mission Award.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that, being modest. And while I appreciate that, and I know everybody does, it also speaks to you and to your leadership and the great work that you do every day for kids, on behalf of kids in the Shawnee Mission School District. So congratulations. It's awesome. And, I guess if you're going to we might as well just go on and win the whole thing now for the whole nation, right?
No, anytime you're doing something like this, I always think if you're going to play, you should be in it to win it,
yep.
Right?
Let's go. Let's go. And I would also say, you're one of Shawnee Mission Mic'd Up, Superintendent of the Year. Coincidence? Maybe, maybe not.
Maybe, Dr. Higgins, maybe. Speaking of the great work, let's highlight just a little bit of our last episode, because there was a lot of amazing work that we talked about in that last episode in regards to the inclusive environment that we've been trying to establish here in the Shawnee Mission School District. And I am super proud of that work, and I'm thankful that Sherry was able to join us and share that. But the most rewarding thing out of all of that was this email that we received that I just want to share, because I think it's important. It's definitely important for us to have that feedback, but also for other listeners to know that we had a parent reach out to us who has a 2.5-year-old in the district, that has siblings in the district already, but will be joining us. And the little guy has Down syndrome, and she sent us this amazing picture of him playing on one of those inclusive playgrounds. And I get chill bumps thinking about it, but it was just so awesome to see this smiling face and this mom who was so appreciative of Sherry's work and the work of the district in regards to the inclusive playgrounds. And she was like, I have so much hope in what I already have tears about sending my kid to school, but now I have so much hope in doing that. It was just awesome.
Yeah, it really was awesome to hear and know that the work that so many are doing here in the district from all levels are hopefully having an impact on the kids in our classrooms right now, but also the kids who are going to be coming into the classroom. So it was great hearing from Sherry and all the things, right? Yes. There's so many different things that are going on that many people don't even know about, and to bring those to light is really important. So
I think that's a great transition here, because all of that work wouldn't be possible without our Board of Education and this bond referendum that was passed in January of 2021. But I think it's important to note that without our board supporting the work that's happening, supporting the leadership team and the recommendations that we make, we wouldn't be at this place. And so we thought it would be a great opportunity. We have 2 school board members, Sarah Goodburn, who is a North Attendance Area member, and Brad Stratton, who is an at-large area member, who have spent a lot of time on the school board and a lot of hours. And I want to remind everyone that that's a volunteer position. It's not a position that's paid. And so they volunteer their time and have spent many, many years on the school board. And so As we talked about, there is an election coming up soon, and this is a great opportunity to remind everyone to exercise your right to vote. But neither Sarah nor Brad will be running for re-election. So we thought this was a great opportunity to say thank you for their service and just kind of talk to them about the work that they've done while they've sat on the board in Shawnee Mission. And so I'm excited to have them join us.
They've been an integral part of things that have gone on over the last decade here in Shawnee Mission. And so it'll be great to hear their perspective on things and also be able to thank them for their service.
Well, let's have them join us.
Absolutely.
Thank both of you so much for joining us, and I would like for you to just give our listeners a little bit of background pretty quickly. And Brad, you want to get started?
Sure, I'd be glad to. So I'm wrapping up 2 terms on the board, was elected a little over 8 years ago, and enjoyed the journey. I was also involved in the Education Foundation before that, which I think is where I first really met Sarah. So we go back even to the Education Foundation days.
All right, and if I recall, you have some Shawnee Mission graduates yourself, or at least one, yes.
Yeah,
okay.
two kiddos that have gone through the district. Our younger daughter graduated from Shawnee Mission East back in 2014, and then our daughter Brady, she went through the special education program, and she went all the way through the 18 to 21 program, which is probably one of the biggest reasons that I've been involved with Shawnee Mission, to thank the district, thank the staff for all the support they've given both of our daughters.
Great. Sarah.
I'm Sarah Goodburn. I'm wrapping up my 3rd term on the board, 12 plus years. I was involved with PTA and Booster Club at all levels, elementary and middle school and high school. Still am involved in Booster Club at the high school level. And I have 2 sons that graduated from North, one in 11 and one in 16, and my dad actually graduated from North back in 1952.
That's exciting. That's exciting. So I'm curious, I'm going to throw out the first question for you. What motivated you to run for the school board, and not only once, but multiple times? Both of you served multiple terms, so what encouraged you to continue? But before you answer that, I do want to back up just 1 second. The questions that we have for you came from some students at Shawnee Mission North.
So just to chime in, Katie Cormack is a government teacher, AP government teacher over at North. Her students actually were tasked with putting together a board forum for North area board candidates for this year's upcoming election. And so obviously they went through a whole logistical process on setting up this event, including questions. So we pulled some of their questions, or they provided us with some of the questions to ask you guys. So that's where the questions are coming from.
And I just want to note that through that process, those students earned an MBA towards graduation as part of the whole process of organizing the event, seeing the event through. So what a great experience for those kids. And just a special thanks to Kevin Walker with the Overland Park Chamber, who moderated that debate forum for us. So just a big thanks to them. So back to the question. I know neither of you are running for re-election, but you served multiple terms, and so you chose to run initially, and then you chose to rerun. So what motivated you to do that?
I've always been hanging around elected government and politics, I guess, and I actually ran for the Overland Park City Council 16 years ago and took 2nd place, as I like to put it, so I wasn't elected, but that kind of whet my appetite, and yet I was always hanging around Shawnee Mission, involved in the Committee for Excellence, like I said, the Foundation Board, and then I really hadn't thought about, especially at large, because it's elected the whole district. It's a big district to our area to run for. And I was approached, and some folks said, you should do that. I think I said no twice before I actually said yes, and no regrets. And so that was my entree to eventually running over 8 years ago.
Great.
Kind of the same way. Just had volunteered for so many years and so many different positions. I had never really thought about the board until someone approached me. And 2 people actually approached me, and I remember being at a basketball game. I was in the South Auditorium, and someone came up and said, "You ought to run for the board." And I said, "I want to run out of this gym right now." But I thought about it, and then I talked to actually Donna Bisfield, who used to serve on the board. I talked to her and had lunch, and it became pretty apparent that this would be a great fit for me. This is like the next step for me. So I ran. I'd never run an election, haven't thought about it, not super political person, so it went well.
It's funny how those little conversations along the way can change our course and lead us down roads. So obviously both of you have been on the board for some time now, and a lot has happened in the district and under your guys' guidance and leadership. So I'm curious, what is your guys', or maybe what accomplishment during your time on the board are you most proud of?
Well, interesting, coming into this building, it reminded me that this was something that happened during our term, was the incredible bond projects that have been passed, a couple of them during our terms, and to see the facilities that we have for the next generations of Shawnee missions, I'd have to say that's one of them. More specific to the board, I would say that I think we worked really hard to be more public-facing, bringing conversations out to the board table, having them in public-facing conversations so that the constituents, the patrons could see the board at work. And I think that's something that we've been intentional about over the last 8+ years.
You know, I think too, just where we've come from, and we had a really strong base, but wow, that continuous improvement. I mean, I can't believe where we were. I'm just going to give one example of our functioning as a board. Somebody used to come physically to our door and hand us our packet. When I first got on the board, I was given a fax machine. That's only 12 years ago. The biggest fax machine you've ever seen, and a huge filing cabinet to put all of my documents in. And now we have board. It's just so, and that's just one example. But there's examples all over the district of just moving the needle up. And all the facilities are. I think we've opened about 12 or 13 buildings since I've been on the board. So it just. In every facet. I mean, this building, the equipment that's in this building, up in the med science program, unbelievable. So I'm just really proud of that, of the opportunities we've given kids.
Awesome.
Right. So every board has challenges, and I would say especially school boards, right, with especially 26,000 plus students every day. So as you think about new board members coming on, what challenges do you think they may face, and what advice would you give to them?
Well, gosh, you could never have predicted COVID. So I don't know how to even, they just need to be prepared for those challenges, have a strong base, get knowledge from KSB. You're wearing a shirt from repping KSB today, and the NSBA, those conventions that we go to learn, just to get a really strong base of what a board does, and to be able to handle those challenges when they do come, because no one could have ever predicted that. So I think it's just, you just have to be prepared.
And I'll add to that, because I agree. The word that comes out to me is divisiveness, meaning in a role where we're 7 board members working together as a board, there's all kinds of outside influences that try to divide us. And we see that from the national level all the way down to the school board level, and that divisiveness. So I'm sharing with new folks that would be elected that stay together as a team, work together as a team. That doesn't mean agree on everything, but if you work as a team and you work through things together, we're really in a good spot right now. The 7 of us work together really well. I'm very proud of where we're at there. And I hope that as we transition to new board members on as well, that they can do that. We're watching what's going on with other boards. I fear for that, and again, it's this divisiveness that's trying to divide. We're all there for the same reason, and that is to provide high-quality public education to the students and the families of Shawnee Mission. And as long as everyone stays focused on that, I think we'll continue to succeed.
So I'm going to throw a little bonus question in here that didn't come from the kids, but as I heard both of you talk, and you talk about the teamwork and learning, when you started as a board member, and thinking about what you thought your role was and what your role actually became or was, were they different?
Yes, because I'm a problem solver by nature. I love to fix things around the house. I am the person that my entire family comes to for tech, and so you can't fix things the way people want you to fix things on a board. Like, you'll be in the grocery store and someone will come up and say, I'm having this issue or whatever, and you want to be able to be there and be present and fix it, help them. But in this role, you can't do that. You have to more guide them through the process. And so that was one thing that I think you just immediately learn, that getting into the weeds like that is not a place to be. You need to pass them off to and educate them on how to navigate the process.
Both of us, Sarah and I, have served as the board president for several years over that time, and so we not only got to be part of the 7, but in those years lead the 7. And the book that I turned to, that I provided to some of the new board members that were elected 4 years ago, was one about balanced governance. And that's the key, is that they're striking this balance between the board and the superintendent team, being able to find the balance, and that's how I define our role. It could be, one extreme is those that try to micromanage or get in the weeds, and that's not a role of a board. But the other end is another one that we've experienced over the years, and that is that maybe the board takes too big a step back and they acquiesce and they allow just everything to happen. That the term is rubber stamp board. And so my hope, and I think we're at a really good spot right now, is we've found the balance, is that the advice that I give new members is trust and verify. Some people come into roles and they say, distrust and verify everything, and challenge and question everything. No, I don't think that's the right approach. I think it's, you're elected to this board, you work as a team of 7, really a team of 8 with a superintendent. Trust, but verify. Ask good questions. Ask good questions on behalf of yourself or on patrons. Like I said, I think we're at a good spot right now, and that balance is really good. And I'm proud of where we're at right now.
Great.
So let's talk a little bit about some strengths that you guys see. What would you see of maybe 1 or 2 strengths that the Shawnee Mission School District has that we should be proud of from your guys' viewpoint? I know you could probably list off a ton, but maybe highlight a couple.
If they can't, I will.
No.
I'll go ahead and start
Sure.
with diversity. I can still hear Mike Fulton, our superintendent for 3 years, leading with that and saying diversity is one of the biggest strengths of Shawnee Mission. And it took me a while to fully understand and then appreciate and then go all the way to embrace that approach to who we are. Shawnee Mission isn't the same place it was 50 years ago, not even 25 years ago. But I think as we've changed and evolved, we've also grown through that. And so I'm very proud of the way we've not only identified who we are today, but really embraced it so we can manage forward understanding who we are and who we will be going forward.
I would say the community is really one of our strengths, and you don't think about it because it's a little bit, we invite them in to give advice and different things, but you don't think about it. The community has always been so supportive of the school district. I mean, think about it. A bond referendum has never not passed, and we've been able to do all sorts of wonderful things with that money to enhance the learning spaces for our kids. And the community engages when we do strategic planning that's going to be coming up. They've engaged in that. They engage in different, they want to be involved in different PTAs and different things that we do. Think about that. There's just all sorts of, the community is just fabulous. And our staff is all wonderful too, though. Our people.
People. You hit that. Both of those answers really hit to one of the strengths I always talk about when people ask me when I'm interviewing them, and it comes back to the people. I mean, we've got just great people across the board, all levels throughout Shawnee Mission.
Absolutely. Well, we're running close on time, but these students did ask a bonus question, and as a high school principal, I love this question the most because you never know what you're going to get from high school kids, and so this is a perfect example of that. So the question was, what's your favorite Shawnee Mission school, and why is it Shawnee Mission North?
Obvious.
So, Sarah, I'm going to let you start because you might tend to agree with them a little bit.
It's such a special place. So thanks, students, for that question. It's really a special place. I've spent a lot of time volunteering and raising money and with students of North. It's just a really special place, and it's the first. So I don't know. It's a special place.
Well, that's a loaded question, but I'll go ahead anyway. And I would say the Early Childhood Center. I think that's the future of public education, is starting with as young students as possible in the Early Childhood Center and beginning to develop those impressionable, moldable minds to the benefits of working together as a team, to seeing an environment where they're going to learn for the next 12 plus years. I'm really excited about that building, so that's going to be my answer.
Well, they're all my favorite. I love to cheerlead our schools, but they're all so unique though, right? They each, Sarah talks about it being the first, early childhood. I mean, we can all pick a school and talk about the amazing things that are happening there because there's so many amazing things happening in all of our schools across the district.
And it just comes down to the people too.
It really does.
Well,
Yeah.
Brad, Sarah, thank you guys both for being here, but also for the years of service you've had on the board and everything that you've done for everything, for the students of Shawnee Mission, for the parents, for the community. Truly, thank you guys for all that you've done.
Yes, I echo that. Thank you so much for your service. And I just want to remind everybody, these two have volunteered hours, days, years of time to the students in Shawnee Mission School District, all because they really care about Shawnee Mission. So thank you so much for being here, and thank you for your service. I just want to remind everybody that we drop new episodes of Shawnee Mission Mic'd Up every other Thursday. So we'll see you again in a couple of weeks. On our website, you can give us ideas that you might want us to talk about, or guests that you may want us to invite to the show. So we would love to hear from you. So again, thank you so much for joining us today.
Speaking of future episodes, do we have any ideas on our next episode?
Absolutely. So the next episode will drop during American Education Week. So we'll be highlighting our educators, and I'll just leave it at that for now.
All right, perfect. Special shout out again to Logan DeAngelis for his work on the intro and outro music. Special thanks to our communication team as well for all the work that you guys do to put this show on. Quote for the episode. Go ahead, Dr.
Yeah,
Hubbard.
so the quote is Nelson Mandela, and it is, "As we let our light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same." So until we meet again next time, shine on, Shawnee Mission.